Hey guys, what is up? You are a little late. Hey, making lemonade from lemons. How are you? Hey, Sarah. Going to the dogs. How are you? All right. The Garden on Gemstone. Hey, Natalie.
I haven't seen Natalie on there in a while.
TNS Dogs and Dragonflies Farm. I was thinking about you a lot today, Natalie. Andrew Littlefield, hello. Pennsylvania Honeybee Rescue and Removal. Emily Moore, Amber, Country Homestead Preacher, Rona Ponderosa. They're starting to move kind of fast. Hey, Lone Star Living. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Xavier. How do you suggest we fill raised beds with no budget? Well, I don't know what to do with zero budget because generally speaking, getting pretty decent soil does cost. Obviously, if you've got enough space, you might be able to dig some from other places. And you can fill the bottom of your beds with like logs and sticks and branches and things like that. Obviously, you don't put trash in there, but like clippings, you could fill with like leaves, the bottom parts with that. Natalie. Hey, Stivers.
What's a pastor's hardcore show?
I don't know. I think she usually has hers. We have church Sunday night, so. No, Sarah, I didn't cut my hair. It's just I have a black shirt on, so you can't really see. It kind of blends in, but it's the same. I haven't cut it recently. Oh, hey, of Little and Light. Hey, Rachel Carter, how are you? Rebecca Sprinkle. I have a video about my arch trellises and how to make them, showing how he made them. If you Google Roots and Refuge, or if you search it, Roots and Refuge arch trellises, it'll come up. He's in a hardcore band about to find out. That's very interesting. Where did you get your soil? There's a place here local to us called, is it Arkansas Composting or called Arkansas Composting, and we went and picked it up there and bought it by the yard. Old Reading Farm, I'm glad you loved the Baker Creek content. I hope I didn't mess anything up, DNR Homestead. I think their system is pretty smooth running machine. It would be hard to go in there and mess anything up.
Yep, Jessica's birthday is tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you, Gail Elwood. My birthday is tomorrow. I'll be 34 years old tomorrow. Pretty pumped about that. I actually really like my birthday. I don't know. I like that it's at Christmas time. Aw, Cousin Amy is riding in the car with my mom on the way home. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. That's super sweet. Cool, Lavender Moon. That's a really exciting stage. Looking for land. Can dream wild during that stage. Annalisa would love to see meals made from your garden and what you have canned and preserved. I'll be sharing more of that canning and preserving content through the winter. And then I need to try to shoot more next summer about what I'm actually cooking out of the garden. Jamie Rodriguez, I have not grown a ton of dried beans, actually. Thanks, Holden. Thank you, Andrew Littlefield. We try. Happy late birthday, Emily Moore. Hey, Tammy. Our dogs are hollering at something.
Yeah, well, that's what we feed them for.
DNR Homestead, we do some fermentation. I've got some fire cider that's just about ready to bottle on the counter right now, and I ferment a pretty good bit through the summer. I've actually got some cabbage in there. I just bought it at the store to make some more sauerkraut. What do you do with patty pan squash? Most commonly we just like cook it like you would any other summer squash, like Typically, the way I use squash most in the summer is just slicing it, and I'll saute some onions and maybe some garlic and then cook the squash down until it softens up a little bit. And that's like the most common way we use it. Mackenzie Johnson, we're basically in the same zone. When do you recommend starting seeds? I just got my Baker Creek order. I'm actually starting all my cool weather stuff, like all my brassicas here right after Christmas. And then I'll move those out probably like mid-February under some cover. And then I will start I think I'm going to start my peppers like late January, maybe my eggplants as well. And then I'll start tomatoes in the middle of February. And then herbs and some flowers and stuff I'll start like the beginning of March. I don't grow elderberry, Linda. They grow wild around here, and I've picked them before. This year the birds got to them before I did. How cool, Mashburn Ministad. That's really awesome. Yeah, Big Bear tomorrow. I'll be a year older. Did you sign into my email? Lauren, did you sign into my email? my oils email? That's funny.
Someone did.
Yeah, somebody just signed into it. Why would okra be stunted? Kaz, much. My guess would be right now that it maybe would not be, it maybe wouldn't have enough heat. Like okra really needs a lot of heat to thrive. It does pretty well with low quality soil, but maybe needing fertilizer. Those would be my first two guesses of why okra would be stunted. With gardening, it's a lot of trial and error and figuring things out. What are some tomatoes that produce massive amounts of fruit? We have about 20 varieties picked out. I've had a really good run with the climbing triple crop because they produce such big fruits. The Italian heirloom did really well. And then like the Creole produced a whole lot. I really liked that one. And my Dr. Richies have been pretty prolific, but some people told me that that produced some big ones, but they didn't produce a ton. Hannah, a recommended shelf life to seeds. I always order more than I can use, but wondered how quickly I should aim to use them. I've got seeds that I'm still putting in that are like 5 years old. If they're stored in cool and dry places, they can last for years. Hey, Homestead Dreaming, how are you? Yeah, Land Designer said the okra might not like the shorter days right now, and I would guess that would probably be definitely. North Star Prep Stutter, we did not get any snow today. We had a coolish day, but it was not anywhere near snowy. It was like 40 degrees all day. It doesn't look like we have a forecast either. Storms starting tonight. And then, oh, wow, it's supposed to be stormy like all morning tomorrow. Did not know that. And then sunny for the rest of the week. It looks like we'll probably have a pretty warmish Christmas. I've only ever had one white Christmas my entire life. We don't usually get snow until like January, February, March here. Monique, I've only grown a couple. We really liked the pineapple, but the Aunt Molly's was very comparable. Cool, Madge the Gardener. That's awesome. For those of you who she was talking about the super duper sweet seed swap on Instagram, I really loved participating in that swap for a while. So okay.
What's a brassica?
What is a brassica? It's just a family of cultivars of plants like kale and cabbage and broccoli. All of those are brassicas. Brussels sprouts are brassicas, and they're all cousins. It's just a family of plants. Do you have any advice for what to plant in an herb garden, like what to plant together? Well, where are you? I would like that would probably matter. Know that any mint and any relative of mint, like lemon balm and all of those can be pretty prolific, and they can take over a lot of space. So a lot of times if you're going to plant mint, you want to plant it either in a pot or just somewhat contained because it'll just spread everything out. It'll spread and choke a lot of things out. But I mean, it really depends on what you use the most. Oh, I love that, Casmudge. Thank you for sharing that. So, actually, I've never grown rhubarb, Olivia. We were looking at the Stark Brothers catalog, and we're planning on getting some rhubarb and asparagus in down in our little perennial garden area, as well as berry bushes. And we're going to start working on that here pretty soon and getting the dead garden cleaned out. I think working on some little row covers for spring. I'm feeling really jazzed. After Baker Creek will do it, guys. Like, if you go walk around that place, you're like, I can grow everything in the world, and I'm going to grow so much food right now. Yay. Oh, Deborah McGray has said Canada as a whole wishes me a happy birthday. Thank you, Canada, on behalf of Deborah McGray. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really excited to get all those perennials in. I did it backwards. I did everything else first and then the perennials. Don't do it like me. Do it the other way.
Tomatoes are more important for you.
Yeah, put the perennials in first for sure. A Good Life Farm, looking through the catalog will definitely inspire the heck out of you. Do you keep a medical kit for goat kittings? What are a few things that you recommend having on hand? I keep it pretty simple. I keep like iodine, selenium, because I give them selenium right after they're born. I keep towels, like we'll have some
molasses.
Ratty towels, molasses to give to the mama right after. Some people keep string to tie off the umbilical cord. I actually never have done that. It's never been a problem, but I guess you might want to. Usually we do dip it in iodine though. Give the baby selenium, give the mama molasses, and then you typically want to, if you do deworming, you typically want to do that within like a day after if you're using chemical dewormers. How do I know when the shallots and garlic are ready to pick? Okay, well, I'm like the most impatient person in the world, so I don't know if I'm the best one to judge this. The way I did it, I know that basically they kind of start like falling over a little bit and looking a little bit died back when they're getting a little more on the ready side, like especially if they do put up scapes and you cut them off if you had a hardneck variety, which I planted all hardneck, but I just would pull one out and see how close it was, and then when they started getting bigger is whenever I picked them. Oh, life's just Stucky. That's so sweet. Yeah, I love sharing my catalog excitement with you guys. Y'all, my basement is like almost done. Like we're using it. We're just finishing putting up some decorations and stuff. And I have been down by my fireplace perusing seed catalogs like crazy. What tea are you enjoying tonight? This is actually mint and tulsi tea with a little honey in it. And it's not for my farm. I have grown mint and tulsi, and I have made mint and tulsi tea. But my friend April came and visited me from, she lives up in Oregon, and she brought me a bunch of local stuff and brought me this tea, and it's really good. It's like the last couple bags that I have. How much is too much to spend on seeds? Garden for cheap? Well, if your philosophy is garden for cheap, you might have a different threshold, but I am not the person to ask that question to. Hello, Pamela. Oh, goodness. Your chicken math is out of control. Also not the person to help with that problem. Do you have any advice for gardening while pregnant and with a newborn? I'm due July 4th, but don't want to miss out on a garden. You know, Casey, I think you really just have to my personal advice would be to keep it manageable and just have very forgiving expectations with yourself. The thing with a garden is, do it in July, depending on how active you want to be there towards the end, as long as you can take it easy. You could probably plant it and still harvest a good bit, even if it goes a little wild. But just don't overdo it. It's more important to enjoy your pregnancy and enjoy your baby than it is to have a garden this year. And that's coming from me. Like, just be honest with yourself. Maybe put some stuff on the porch. The city said make your husband do it. Coming from the gardening husband. He grows a garden. Actually didn't bring home a bunch of seeds this time, Andrew. I have not nailed down what I want to get from Baker Creek yet this year. So I had a lot of self-control and didn't bring home very much. I just have a lot of seeds already, and I don't want to be wasteful. Yes, Monique, the Friday night dinner at the Shindig, that's like a separate dinner only ticket. So that's just buying a plate of dinner. Ben and Andrea have put out a video on their channel that has like all of the nitty gritty details. There's actually, there they are. VW Family Farm just commented. And so if y'all will go to their channel and check them out, subscribe to them and watch that video, they have a Shindig video up. Ben or Andrea, I don't know who it is, but if you'll post a link to your video that you made, that would be great if you can do that. Or if you're on your computer, if you're on your phone. And just share that with people so they can check it out. Hey, there's Murray McMurray Hatchery. What's up?
Friends.
Cucamelon seeds. They're listed as Mexican sour gherkins. I know Baker Creek has them. M.I. Gardner has them. Both of them. You should be able to get at one of those places. What's up with the bees? Are they dormant with the cold? What's the temperature cutoff? Like 55 or 65?
They're pretty dormant right now.
Yeah, it's cold enough.
We had a
that
60-degree day last week, and they were all out.
Yeah, usually like there's about that range. They don't come out past that, and so they just stay in their house. Yeah, we had a warm day last week, and they were out. Jeremiah went and checked everything out, and they're all doing good. Okay, so VW Family Farm just posted the Shindig video for those of you who wanted more information. Cool, Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead score 50 degrees. Thank you, Hippocrates Garden. I appreciate that. So yeah, it's been cool enough here that they've not been coming out a lot, but they're doing well when we have checked on them when it's been warmer. Looking to grow squash vertically in a small space. Do you have any tips? Bush squash are not going to grow vertically like that. Well, I've seen where people have like staked them up, but to me, it doesn't like, you don't save enough space because their leaves still like spread out really far. And so you can force them, but it's so much work because you have to go out and tie them back, like reinforce them every day. Now, vining squashes, like a lot of the winter squash varieties, plus then like the Rampicantes and stuff, you could grow those vertically. I grew those on a vertical trellis this year. And they did great. Thank you so much, P. Wells. I appreciate the birthday wishes. I think, like, Murray McMurray got on right whenever I was talking about chicken math. And it's like you know. The chicken people.
He was actually, Tom was probably just sitting back drinking some tea and was like, I think someone's
chicken?
Someone's going to talk about chicken math. Must be Roots and Refuge. Let me get on it.
It's like a bat signal, except for a chicken. It's going through the sky. Tom's like, it's time. I'm being summoned. Yeah, VW Family Farm said the $50 boots are sold out, and there are a few $20 boots still available. I'm having to narrow my list down because it's a little silly. I don't have enough space for that many chickens. He said his wife almost spit her tea out of that.
Which one?
The bat signal.
Oh.
You have my hair all over weird. Hey, little garden, big dreams.
Me.
Do you really want to say that?
No. Actually, I told her today that we got to sit down tomorrow.
Yeah, he told me today. He was like, "Here's the list of things you have to do today," and that was on the list, or that I have to do this week. I actually don't know how to tell how old chickens are. Maybe somebody on here has a tip on that. How is Ezra and his little Cass doing? He had an MRI last week to see if he's going to need surgery. We haven't heard back from them yet, so we should be hearing something this week to decide if he's going to need surgery. Do you have wild pawpaw or persimmons on your land? Our neighbor has persimmons and has offered that we can come and pick them before. He just picks them and uses them for deer, but he has a lot of them. He has like 75 acres. I think on our old land, when we had that 30 acres down the street, we definitely had a lot of wild fruit. We had like peach trees and pawpaw, and we had a lot of stuff. But on our little 4 acres, we don't really have much of anything. Yeah, Jeremiah is going to be bathing in essential oils with all that stuff going on.
What stuff?
All your sinus stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of essential oils, Lauren texted me a second ago. We have a class this Tuesday that Lauren and I are teaching. We do those Zoom classes, and Lauren, I don't know if you're still on here that you could post the sign-up sheet for people to get more information. But we're going to be teaching. Also, I don't know what the compliant we're not allowed because of like FDA stuff. We're not allowed to obviously diagnose things. We're not allowed to say, there are certain things you have to be careful about saying because of medical laws and stuff like that when you're talking about holistic remedies or anything. And so with essential oils, I can't remember what the language is, but basically we're talking about dealing with overwhelm and anxious emotions. That's what the class is about. I don't think I can actually say anxiety. We're talking about anxious emotions and overwhelm. I'm trying to be compliant. Okay, there's the link. Lauren put the form. So if you guys, is it buffering for everybody? I've seen a couple of people. Emotional health. Thank you, Lauren. I wonder if our kids on the internet?
I don't think so. I can go check.
Mood support. Thank you, Naturally. And see, that's also a very good language to use. But she just posted the link if you guys are interested. Mark. Oh, hey, Mark. He said he wanted to be added to those classes. Lauren just posted that link. If you go put your email in it's just like a basic thing. And that's signing up for my email list. And I don't send out a ton of stuff, but I'm putting more information on our Facebook. I have an oils Facebook group, and I do consultations with people. If you're looking for what oils would help you, support your systems and the issues that you have, I can do that. So anyway, if you're wanting any more information about that, you can fill out that form. I actually really love doing private consultations and talking to people about stuff, but I have to be careful that I don't just stay on the phone chatting with people all day. I'm like, okay, I gotta get to the point. Okay, good. Hope-filled living. I am working on my book. I've been working on some things. I'm actually working on 2 different books. One will be out before the other. I can't talk in depth about one. The other one is a devotional, and I haven't committed anything on that yet. So I'm it's interesting because I'm working on 2 very different types of things, and one is a lot of head knowledge, and so it's really easy to get out. The other one is a lot of heart stuff, and it's really deep, and I'm really having to really get in the secret place and really just let that one kind of flow. And that one's taking a lot longer because I just want to make sure that it's completely honest and right, if that makes sense. So how do you deal with when someone says I have X and it's due to their lifestyle and diet? For everybody that I do any sort of consultation with, I really like to emphasize the fact that essential oils, as well as any other plant medicine, are best paired for overall health with diet and exercise. And the thing is that eating clean and staying hydrated and sleeping, trying to stay, genuinely assessing what you're doing to help your sleep schedule. For instance, for me, I will stay up too late if my phone is near me, so I have to charge in another room so that I will actually sleep well. And stuff like that, people don't realize, and keeping your phone out of your room and making sure you're staying really hydrated and eating a healthy, rounded diet is massive for your health. And then, if you bring plant medicine and holistic remedies in on top of that, you'll see a lot more benefit. And I really just try to share that with people. And of course, people are a take it or leave it. But awesome, Mark. I would love to maybe look at some things that might be able to help with some of the stuff that you're dealing with. It would be really good. Yeah, Deborah, I am going to plant some corn this year because we're going to get the backyard garden ready. Okay, so these drapes, somebody asked if I've ever thought about changing these. These are sentimental drapes to me. When I was very young and very, very, very broke, and damask was all the rage. This is in like early 2000s.
You just said all the rage.
It was all the rage. That's what my grandmother used to say, and she was so cute. When she said it, she would say, Jessie, my grandmother was fabulous, by the way, and she would say, Jessie, she was like, you need that new leopard print bag. It's all the rage. So I love to say that. Makes me think of her. So damask was all the rage back in like early 2000s, and everybody had that decorating their house. I didn't have any money to decorate my house, and I wanted some damask curtains so badly. And I would go into like home decorating stores and just walk around there. I couldn't afford anything. Like I could afford nothing. And I went in once and I had birthday money and I wanted to buy something damask print for my house. And these curtains were open at Pier 1 Import and it was just one window's worth. And I think they were like $20 or something for the set of the curtains. And I had like $25. And so I bought them for myself. And it was like the first like decor item that I ever bought to like make my house a home. And these curtains have hung in every house that I've ever lived in since being an adult. And so I'm a little attached. They don't match anything else in this room, but you know, whatever. I have a style that I like to call unapologetically hodgepodge. That's my decorating style. In case like people are like farmhouse, shabby chic, mine is unapologetically hodgepodge. I lived in Knoxville in like 2007, 8, 9, something like that. How cool. Soul Journey. That's really neat. Mark, that's kind of my thing. I don't think I'll ever, that's just, I don't know. It just, I'm like really big on remembering like where you came from and whenever, like just staying like very gracious. And so for me, like I always put these in a really prominent place in my home because like my home's beautiful and we just got done making this drawing room downstairs. It's amazing. And like, I just remember that.
What is Jeremiah's decorating style? Whatever makes Jessica happy.
Pretty much.
I mean, that's usually how it goes. Do you like this? Do you like it? Yeah, I like it. I love it.
Do you have
all the males out here taking notes?
Oh, cool, Rose. I didn't know that. I would say Jeremiah, like, he has a style as far as like building. Like he really loves like craftsman type look. So yeah, like I would say that's kind of his style. But as far as all of this, now when we first got together, he found my like unapologetically hodgepodge decorating style and clothing style a little cringy, but he really liked me. And it's grown on him. Like now he really likes it. As long as it's green or wood tones, he likes it. VW Feeling Farm said, taking notes.
Mine doesn't have style. He has class. That's right. Honeystead.
Hey, how are you, Honeystead? I'm excited to show you guys the basement.
Did we ever tell Honeystead that pig stayed black?
I don't know. Yeah, that little piglet that we got, she stayed swallow belly.
Her hair's coming in and it's swallow belly.
Yeah.
So we keeping her. Doris.
Jeremiah really likes her.
And also, I don't think our other pig is pregnant.
Yeah, I don't think she is either.
Sorry, guys. I've really been holding out, and
we're gonna put her back in.
It.
We're gonna put her in. We're actually putting Fanny, who is the first mama that had her babies. We're putting her up and like isolating her away from the babies because she's weaning them. And we're actually going to put Gerard back out with the other one. And we're going to give Fanny some recoup time to like gain some weight back and recover from nursing before we let her get bred again.
But I guess we're going to give the other one more shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what does that mean for the pigs we have?
That we're keeping.
Well, they're all spoken for already, but
yeah,
we're keeping a certain amount for us, and then
we're raising the one for Josh.
And then was it the haulers that were the next on the list?
I don't know because they ended up getting some other ones. I don't know. We have a couple of people on the list that we're going to have to go down.
It's okay. Pigs will do what pigs do.
Live nativity single dad homestead. How cool! I love live nativities. Yeah, making lemonade from lemon says, I don't have a style until my boys leave my house and stop breaking things. So, guys, my basement is beautiful, okay? And it actually has breakable things in it. And no, we have the whole upstairs of our house, living room. We have, like, the kids have their bedrooms. We're actually pretty, we don't have, like, established, like, that our room is adult space that our kids can't come in. Like they're watching a movie in our bed right now. Like we're pretty open with that space. But we actually decorated the bedroom or the basement and I didn't hold back. I did not. It's got an oatmeal kind of cream colored couch and I made it a grown up space because it's not necessary. Like we've never had that room usable before. And so the kids have always been fine without having that room. Like we don't have to have it. And I actually made it a very adult space and it does have a TV down there and it has like Disney Plus on it and all that stuff. But I talked to my kids and basically said, hey, I want to share my space with you. But in order to be in this space, it's required that you have self-control. So can you handle that responsibility to have self-control when you're down here? Like this is not a place to come down and act crazy and play rough because you have to honor this. And it's been really, really neat because they've taken it so seriously. Like they go down, they lay on the couch or they sit next to the fireplace and they'll watch a movie or they'll come down with us and talk with us. But it's really nice because we really established like this is my room. Like this is my space, my workspace. And I want to invite you into it if you can control yourself and you can see that there's a standard that's required to be here. And it was really, it's really going good. You know, obviously they might mess up. They might break something. It could happen. It's just stuff. It's not going to be that big of a deal. But we've taken it really seriously. What did I miss with what was...
Kaylee was saying that it was more normal for the blondes to have
a swallow belly than a swallow bellies to have a blonde.
Yeah, I think that's what she was trying to say.
Yeah. Getting chickens in the spring for the first time. Any recommendations on breeds for egg layers, Eric? My Murray catalog is downstairs from where I was sitting there looking at it.
Yeah.
I really like Orpingtons a lot. They're really mellow. If you want colorful eggs, I really liked our crested cream leg bars. We've had Americanas too, like actual Americanas and Aracanas, and they were both a little on the flightier side. I like them. Okay, I like their eggs, but I really like the crested cream leg bars. They were sweeter, and I love the Orpingtons. I like Well Summers a lot. They don't lay a ton, but they lay really pretty eggs. Mark, I'm so excited that you're coming. I'm so excited that you're coming. Thanks, Flying Fox. I think it is really good. I watched this, or I listened to this podcast recently. I listened to the Helsers podcast, Jonathan David and Melissa Helser. I don't know I think it's just called Jonathan David and Melissa Helser. Yeah, that's what it is called. Anyway, they had a podcast recently and it was something about like healthy family and it was so good. And she was talking about that. She was talking about teaching her children to respect and honor atmospheres by taking them to really nice restaurants and basically talking about how like in your life, you're going to have opportunities to sit at tables opened up to you, but that in order to sit at those tables, you have to have self-control and you have to be able to control yourself and honor the atmosphere. And I thought that was really good and kind of applied that to my basement. Sunny's Place, I understand that. Those are all great things too. Yeah, black Australorp stivers, I agree. The black Australorps are really good. We have a couple of those. Yeah, my thing is that like I really like to guide my children, and like I really love to teach them through relationship, because I feel like that sets them up for a really healthy perspective of God. I don't really like to do things from a stance of like fear and a lot of punishment and all of that, because I think that we can reach the same ends with relationship and not cause as much damage along the way. And so that kind of language really falls in line with that. I really like it a lot. Thank you, Monique. Oh, Elin. Hello, darling. How are you? What was her job in the nativity?
She was a lamb.
Was she?
I don't know.
Hi. Here's Ezzy. Somebody was asking about your arm earlier and asking how it was.
It's fine.
Still in a cast, but I'm glad he's cheerful about it. I really do find that whenever we give kids opportunities, they generally rise to the occasion. Hey, Home Slice, don't eat that applesauce on my bed. Ezra.
He's right there.
Don't take that in my bed. You can sit in here. Okay, sorry.
Why can't we take kids?
Yes, goat milk.
Go tell Toby.
Goat milk does not usually upset.
A lot of people have problems with cow's milk. Do not have problems with goat's milk. She was a town person and told all the boys about the animals. That's so funny. Yeah, my mom called because there was a live nativity. She called. She was like, I think the kids really like this. And she was like, it's like a petting zoo and all this stuff. She goes, well, I guess that probably doesn't hold a lot of appeal to your kids. I was like, well, they like going places.
Well, Jackson Asher went on a field trip. We had to spend $20 a piece for them to go to a farm. I was like, I'm messaging the school and be like, hey, you can bring your field trip here and we'll charge all your kids $20 a piece.
Yeah, Mommy.
Okay, bring that in here, baby. Hey, the family flips. How are you? Sunny's Place. I don't like food in my room at all. Like I don't like anybody taking food in my room. I don't usually do that though.
Chips and
I did that
salsa?
one time when that was whenever my toe was hurt and I couldn't walk.
You're
that
not
was
a
one
hypocrite.
time. That was our whole marriage.
Don't be like that.
Then one other time I took food in our bed.
That's the only time I can remember, but it still happened. It was chips of all things. And
He
salsa.
gave me such hard guys. I hate food in the bed. It's like a total pet peeve. My thing is I'm like very, very, very overly sensory and textural. Like I have some issues, like sensory issues with stuff on my skin, and like I'm always wearing my sleeves pushed up. I don't know if you've ever noticed this before. I hate stuff touching my wrists. Like I'm really weird about this, and I hate crumbs in my bed. Like. My sheets have to be clean. I will literally be like, let's strip this thing. Like, we're laying down. He's like, no, you can brush it off. And I'm like, why are there crumbs in my bed? It made me crazy. My toe was hurting, Lauren. It was bad. I had a hurt toe. It's like last week that this happened.
Kaylee says, I have a thing with late night cereal in my bed while watching YouTube lives like right now.
So basically, we have a mental image of what Kaylee is doing. You said, I'll message you after Love Ben instead of live.
Whatever.
Oh, Love Ben. You vacuum your bed every night. I can't even. That's hilarious. Oh. Okay, Stiver said no food. Which is that you, Jen, or is it Zach? Who's sensitive? No food or regular clothes in my bed. Can't stand feeling crumbs or any dirt particles. That's whatsoever.
That's gotta be Jen.
I'm the same way. I can't do it.
Yeah, there's no way that's Zach.
I don't know. Zach might be sensitive. He might have sensitive skin. No, you don't think so? It's Jen. Yeah, it's Jen. Like the Princess and the Pea story, like I could totally be that. Like I am so bothered by stuff, and It's really funny because a few years ago I had like a desk built for me, and the guy who built it, like I guess he knew that about me, and he sanded that thing so smooth because when you're typing, your wrists are touching the desk, and like that's something that's always bothered me. Like if there's a lot of texture or something, or if there's something sticky, oh my gosh, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Identify with you all so well right now, Megan. I love that. Isn't it hilarious whenever you're like talking to people and you find out these little quirks about them that are like you? Like you guys would never probably know that about me, that I'm like really, really sensory. I don't want any crumblies in my bed. I just can't do it. Rebecca said I'm weird about sight and sound if there's a pinprick of light or any sound. Yeah, I can sleep with a little light and a little noise. I mean, just after raising kids. I used to sleep in a completely dark and silent room. Now I do, like, because of that whole like sensory overload thing, like it's funny because we're doing the class about essential oils and like mood support and emotional health. Like I use a lot of essential oils to like mellow, because especially this time of year where there are crowds everywhere. Like I've had people message me before that, like, I guess I'm very warm to people that I meet. Like when people come up and introduce themselves to us because they know us because of YouTube, I am very warm. I love to meet people. If you ever see me, please introduce yourself to me. But like, I think there have been a couple of times that I felt really overwhelmed in really loud and busy situations. And somebody has seen me and thought like something was wrong. Cause I've had messages before of like, I saw you, but I didn't want to bother you because I noticed that you seemed really stressed out. But it's just like a lot of times, like my hands will shake and I get a little overwhelmed in those kinds of situations. But yeah, my oils, I smell strong. I smell very calming during this time of year because I'm wearing some essential oils morning to night to get through it. Oh my gosh, Kira said I haven't left my house in 6 days. Too many people scares me. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate that. I want to be warm. I want people to be left with a feeling of being embraced whenever they come in contact with me. That's like a desire of my heart. It's way too people-y out there for me. It is people. But Jeremiah and I were talking about the other day. It took us like an extra 20 minutes to get somewhere because we're traffic. And we were like, where do all the people come from?
Waits for Christmas traffic. I don't get it.
Like,
what are they doing the rest of the year?
Are they just sitting in their house like all the time? Where are they? Where are they usually? What are they doing? Is it just that this many people are shopping? Like, it's crazy. There's so many people. Oh, Sunny's Place. I'm glad. I try really, really, really hard to remember people's names. Whenever I meet people, it's like a personal goal of mine. And so when I'm meeting you, I'll say your name back like 6 times because I really, really, really want to try to remember it. And I can't remember all of them. Like it's stuff like HOA, but I can remember probably about 20 to 30%. Like by the end of the weekend, like I can see people and recall their name. Like not everybody, but I'm always like score. I mean, I feel like I won the prize whenever I can remember people's names. What oil do you use for that, Sherry? We have a couple of blends with doTERRA called Serenity and Balance. And those two, Balance is the one that right now I am like using some Balance. And like lavender and chamomile are very good, but we're going to go over it in depth in the class and like why things work. But that Balance blend is what I am like bathing in. Like I'm putting it on all day, every day right now. Mark, I agree. The Stivers home is very, very warm and welcoming. They have a really sweet gift of hospitality and just have a really sweet atmosphere in their home. They do. They come out of the woodwork. Why do today what you can wait and do when there are 15 million people doing it too? That's hilarious. Gail, yeah, it is. It's crazy out there. Like, it is absolutely nuts.
Amber S. I need to plan my seed starting. I'm lost. No greenhouse. Zone 7A.
If you don't have a greenhouse, you can do a little bit in windowsills, but you can get a pretty decent grow light. Like any of the ones from Amazon, they're in like the $20 to $25 range, and just a small grow light. And you can set it up like in a closet somewhere where you're not going to be in the room all the time because they can damage your eyes and stuff, especially if you're like where you're looking at them a lot. So you want to put them like in a room that nobody's going to be in a whole lot. But I've known a lot of people with just a couple of grow lights that have started their whole gardens worth of stuff in their closet. And I would really suggest that you don't really need a heat mat to start things in your house, because your house is going to probably be in like the 65 to 75 range. And so that's warm enough. A lot of people will germinate things up like on top of their fridge, and then they'll move them where they're going to go.
Yeah, we had a funny thing happen today. It was after church Daniel was here this weekend, and
we didn't shoot a lick of video this weekend with Daniel.
Nope, sure didn't.
No,
anyways,
that stinks. I just thought about it. I didn't.
Took the kids and Daniel out to Blaze for lunch, and we've been going there since it opened, off and on. We don't go a lot, but we did when it first opened for like 6 months. Anyways, this had the same manager, and one day she was on YouTube and saw a picture of me on the thumbnail and said, "Hey, I know that guy. He comes into Blaze," and started watching and become a big fan. So we went in to get pizza, which we haven't been there
in months. Yeah.
Months. Like, she came up and was like, "I love you guys."
That was really sweet. She was really
fun.
Precious. Mary was her name. I remember because it's my mom's name. But yeah, she came up and introduced herself and said she reads my vlog video, watches our videos, reads my articles, all that stuff.
That's cool.
If you could do one new sustainable thing in 2020, what would it be?
Meat chickens.
Yeah,
sustainable meat.
Is that really? Yeah, I mean, I guess we're going to be growing more of our own meat, but like sustainable, I don't really think of that as sustainability. I mean, I guess we're planting our perennials, but I guess that's sustainability.
I don't know, what are we doing that's sustainable?
What are we doing that's sustainable that we're not already doing? We have really been kind of trying to address like the waste thing, and like we've really cut out a lot of single-use plastics and single-use stuff. I mean, we've always, for years, we've had like metal straws in the house, and like the kids drink out of like metal cups, and we have water bottles and all of that. But I'm always kind of trying to go more in that direction. So like purchasing bulk more and like breaking things down. I don't know. Maybe that would be my answer. Growing our own meat, which that's sustainable. I mean, like, it's not having to be like, anytime you can grow your food in your yard, it's not having to be shipped. So that's definitely a benefit. Cool, Mary Lee. Okay, I think have questioned my sanity, but so excited. Well, I'm really excited for you. That's really awesome. Man, getting that. I would actually just recently, I just wrote an article about when we got our place and when we found it. And so I was really reminiscing on that time, because it was January 6 years ago that we found this farm. It was just a foreclosure. And it was just really exciting.
I went to drop the van off.
Mm-hmm.
It was down Trammell.
Oh, yeah. You saw that one.
I showed Daniel, said that was the house that we tried to get that led us to where we're at.
Oh, yeah. That's really cool. Are you eventually going to start your own meat chickens from eggs? North Star Prepsteader?
I think it's one day.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of like an eventual goal. Right now, we're going to be getting our meat chicks from Murray McMurray. They've got a new breed that they've come out with. It's that's, like a more sustainable breed. And so, because obviously Cornish crosses are not. And we'll probably grow out some of both and just kind of compare and see what we like, because we've never raised meat chickens before on purpose. I mean, we've hatched. We used to hatch straight run, and we would butcher roosters. But you don't get nearly as much meat for feed conversion because they grow so much slower, because we're hatching heritage breeds. And so maybe eventually, but probably not right now. I think we're actually going to send our incubator over to the Vincents to do some hatching out, because we're not looking at hatching a whole bunch this year. I used to hatch eggs for the local feed store. That was like one of my side hustles years ago. I had chickens, and I actually had a guy local that I could get hatching eggs from for $2 a dozen, and I would hatch incubators full of chicks, and I would sell them.
What about Cornish crosses unsustainable?
Cornish crosses don't breed naturally. Like, they don't breed naturally. They're a hybrid bird, and those and broad-breasted white turkeys, they are bred, and like, you can't like save a Cornish cross rooster and hen and breed them, because they grow so fast that they actually they actually just don't live a really long time. And so they're great for growing out meat because you get it really fast. You don't have to feed them for as long. However, you're not going to breed them and collect eggs and hatch eggs. And so there are like dual purpose breeds, which are bred to be bigger, but that are not so big that they won't live a long time. And so it's just like a benefit of like, what are you looking to do? For me, I think I would really for me, it's like, well, as long as as long as there's an option, I don't see anything wrong with buying those. However, I think that having the scenario in your mind of, I would really like the option to be fully sustainable if that comes to that. If, just to have the option so that I'm not dependent on anything like outside sources, then you might want to have like some other breeds. And that's why I'm really excited about this breed that Murray McMurray has, because they might be some that you could grow out, but maybe keep some. Possibly.
Lauren, will you post the sign-up sheet for the class again?
Yeah.
And there she goes.
Oh, that was fast.
Those bat signal things.
I do love it really depends, like selling stuff like that, you just need to check with your local laws, because I think most laws are differentiating by state. I've heard that about seedlings. If you sell more than a certain amount, I know here it's more than a certain amount, but you just need to check your local laws to find out what the deal is. Yeah, if I were like starting a homestead all over again, which we will at some point. I mean, we're going to start a new place. First thing we'll do is go in and put in fruit and nut trees and figure out where our garden's going to be, and then put in the berry bushes, the rhubarb, the asparagus. I mean, like first thing before we do anything else, it's going to be that. Probably the next thing would be, depending on what time of year it is.
It also depends on what kind of infrastructure the land has.
Already has. I'm saying if you were starting from like a blank, not having to clear trees, but having a pretty blank slate.
One of the first things we'd have to do even before that would have to be, if it didn't have cross fencing and barns.
Well, yeah, I'm saying
taking animals.
Right. I'm saying if we were just starting fresh.
With no animals with us?
Like, we'll be taking animals. Like, whenever we start a new farm, we'll have to have barns because we have goats and alpacas.
Fences and all that.
Depending on where we were to move, we probably would not take our birds. We would probably leave the birds that we have with this house, and whoever bought this house if they wanted them. But yeah, we're taking, and pigs. So we'd have to have that. But if we were starting from scratch, it would be perennials and all of that. And then it would probably be, depending on the type of year, I would start putting gardens in and start obviously composting and all of that. And then probably get a chicken coop up.
Yeah, that might be the wisest thing to do, Gail. Probably not what we're going to do.
What is it?
The first thing to do is watch the land for a full year.
Yeah, that is smart. If you're just getting started, it's definitely good to assess your land.
We're really impatient, so we probably won't do that.
Well, we're moving with a lot of animals, so we're going to have to put some infrastructure up. Jeremiah, at least you're honest about it. You're like, yeah, we're probably not going to do that.
I mean, it's true.
A big coop with lots of chickens, Nancy. How many do you want? Jesse's small homestead, yes, cucamelons do have tubers, and I just left mine in, and we'll see if they come up again. But you can dig them up and plant them again the next year. Yeah, Gail, I think with having the raised beds, it should be okay, but I don't know. It really depends. I would really love it whenever we do go to move to be able to find a property in the winter, like, and because I feel like you get to really see like the ugly side of a property during the winter. Like usually that's when you see standing water. That's whenever you see that stuff, like the muddy spots and the soft spots is during the winter time. And then, I would hate to go find a property in the summer just because I feel like that's swiping left on something that is definitely from a really flattering angle. Like that's pretty much what property shopping in the summer is. Like every farm property, when you go out, everything's lush and green and growing. You can get all starry-eyed about it, but the winter is whenever you really like. My property is pretty ugly right now. I mean, it looks great for my property, but like,
well, we put an offer in the winter too.
Yep, we put an offer in on this in the winter, so we had an honest assessment. Yeah, the best case scenario is absolutely knowledge from the prior owner. Good night, Corinne. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Yep, looking after the worst snow and rain. We have really had to do a lot of work to overcome drainage issues on this property.
Sure did. Still working on it.
Yeah.
But almost there.
Yep, that's hard rain is when you get to see it how it drains. How long have we been at our current place? We put the offer in on this place 6 years ago in January, and we moved in April in 2014. Good night, Honeystead. We love you. So yeah, almost 6 years, which is crazy. I was looking at photos of when we moved here the other day. I was going back and looking for a photo, a specific one for that article. And I was like, man, like our babies were tiny. Like we looked so much younger. I was like, golly, I can't believe 6 years has gone by.
Goes by quick.
The sign behind me says love grows best in houses just like this. Carly, I'm not 100% sure what berry bushes I would suggest first because I've not done them yet. I think we're going to be putting in blackberries and raspberries and blueberries is our plan. Cindy, I really am not sure what zone southwestern New Hampshire is, but if you type into Google your city and growing zone, USDA growing zone for whatever city it is, it'll come up. Oh, cool. Wild Homestead. That's awesome. Jeannie, we're going to be getting ours from Stark Brothers is where we're getting our fruit trees. Go thornless on the berries. Yeah, that's what we're looking at is thornless berries. I've tried blueberries before and lost them, but I honestly didn't try very hard. I just got them really cheap and put them in a garden bed. And they made a few, but some critter got in and got at them. And we just, oh, I didn't know she had them, Amy. What would you recommend? Would you recommend sandy soil for tomatoes? I've never grown tomatoes in sandy soil, Mama Z's. So I really don't know, to be entirely honest. I mean, I've always had success. I mean, the richer the soil for tomatoes, the more success I've had. Yeah, I know blueberries like it really acidic. And that was what I'm saying. Like, I didn't do very well with mine, but I didn't do much extra, like, work either. Unless we have a deer. Well, cool, Amy. Yeah, we have deer, definitely. And the thing is, we have wild blackberries all over the place out here. And they're very, very thorny, but they're, like, tiny, tiny. But I'll pick those by the gallon in the springtime on the roadsides. We actually are putting all of the berry bushes and all that stuff in the garden. There's like all the raised beds, and then there's like there's the open space around the greenhouse, and that space is about 50 by 120. The garden's 120 feet wide, right? So like 50 by 120, and the bees are back in the corner, and the greenhouse is in there, and then all around that is going to be like perennials. I've got a lot of flower bulbs to put down there. Even the sparrow, we have an accountant and an LLC, and that's, I mean, like, I guess you could go into a lot of depth with that, but that's what ours is listed as. And that would just probably be different based on what you were trying to do with your farm.
Yeah.
Do chickens yawn? I know exactly what you're talking about that they do. I don't think that they're yawning. I think that they're it has something to do with their gullet. Yeah. What is your next big project? Probably the garden. Finishing that barn out in the woods, maybe.
That's not big.
Yeah, that's not big. I don't think we have any more real big projects. Not here.
Finishing the garden and then finishing the remodel inside the house.
Yeah.
So, small stuff we have to finish is a couple of structures, one more run of fence. We're still in the process of cleaning up and getting rid of stuff.
Murray McMurray said if your chickens are doing that they might be sick. So that might be something
I was actually
to
going
look
to say
into
that. Like
I haven't
ours
seen
did
them do
that.
that.
Ours did that when they had that respiratory infection. They would be like,
Huh.
That's what it was. Now, some of them do it whenever they have like something
in
stuck
their
in their throat. But
not
if
like
there's
a lot.
group of them doing it, then that's a sickness of some kind.
Thank you, Mayor.
Goldshot Farm showing up just before it's over.
Hey, Morgan, what's up? I have a buff Orpington rooster that purrs. That's so funny. Grow kohlrabi. I am absolutely growing kohlrabi this spring. Oi, carry on K. It's a good question for us to wrap this up. And when you're back to the stage of having time to travel, where would you love to go internationally? So I have a bucket list, I guess it's not really a bucket list. I have a bucket list that I have been adding to since I was a teenager, but I have a vision board and I make these. This is something I've thought about doing a video on, but it's so not, I think that it's really beneficial. And I know that I do devotional content. And so this may be something that I do before going into the new year. But I actually like to take, and it's just a piece of paper, and I'll actually print out pictures and write down visualization of goals and dreams that I have. And some of them are completely outside of my reach. I cannot control them. And some of them are things to work towards and work for. But I put it in the front of my journal or in my planner, and it's very motivating to me to one, stay connected with God, because I can surrender that to him on a regular basis. And so it's a quiet time thing for me, because your dreams can become very distracting when they're not happening and make you feel hopeless, because hope deferred makes the heart sick. And so for me, having them there and having this physical thing to be I trust you with this. It's yours. You're on it. You're good. I do that. So I'm saying all of that to say about international travel. I would really actually love to go to just the UK and go see Charles Dowding. This is my next big thing that I would like to do as far as big international travel. I would really love to go see Charles Dowding's garden and go visit a lot of the places in the UK that are known for gardening. And then we've talked also, I would really, really love to go to Scotland and just see that area. So I don't actually have a lot of, I don't have wanderlust. I'm not one of those people that's I want to see the world. I actually don't feel that way, but there are a couple places I would really like to visit.
Doug and Katrina King, Jordan, first-time chatters, long-time fans. What's the hardest thing in your daily routine?
You answer first.
Getting started.
Getting started for you?
My biggest struggle is always getting started. I'm good at finishing. Once I get going, I stay busy and I do this stuff. But if I don't force myself to get started, I'll lose a bunch of time in the morning because I'll keep putting it off because I have a hard time getting started.
I I think for me, it's not like a single task that is difficult for me. For me, I have a really hard time with time management and not becoming overwhelmed because I have a lot of things to do usually. And because like making phone calls and talking to people and, like getting through there's just a long list of tasks. And that can become very overwhelming to me to the point that I just sort of like shut down and then I don't get it done. And so like for me, it's like maintaining a focus that list that's overwhelming me goes away when I just steadily work at it. And then I'll find myself in the afternoon like, oh wow, I got all that stuff done and I feel really great and happy. But yeah, it's kind of a mental thing for me.
And I'd love to go visit New Zealand.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, he's always said that because he's a big fan. Watching you guys and pouring over the Baker Creek catalog and my friends is sustaining me here in the deep freeze known as Minnesota. Well, Sue, I'm glad you're here and I hope you're staying warm. Yes, you married because we just really like them. What? You ready to close up?
We're
All
5 minutes over.
Yeah. I think I guess we're 5 minutes over being on for an hour. All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. I think we're going to wrap this up. Oh, Mark said New Zealand's moving.
That's cool.
All right,
I'm gonna
guys.
go one day.
Well, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
God bless you.